We went through this phase and I thought it was magical, where bigger was better. And we made some wonderfully large indoor and outdoor resin figurines. Well, this year we still have the big pieces, but we're also somewhat scaling down so that we've got pieces that you can manage a little easier. So we've got our Kringle Express little elves riding on a sleigh. And that poly resin gives infinite amount of detail. Look at the rosy cheeks. Look at those wonderful big eyes. Every one of these pieces is painted by hand. And to make it even better, everything that you see that's a jewel actually lights up as well. Now, as well done as these are rated for outdoor. And I'm not talking just on a covered porch. They can withstand the elements. That's actually an automotive quality paint that they used on each one. So these are going to hold up for years. Rachel Pavis is our representative from Kringle Express. You got the little elves and Officer the Snowman, don't you?
I do, Dan.
Good.
I don't know if you can see the little snowman here over my shoulder. These guys are just precious. I love every bit about them because you're getting a little trio of whether you're choosing the elves or the snowman. They're sitting on that sleigh. And like you mentioned, they use amazing paints on these so that they're safer outside. These runners on the sleigh are done in metal.
Yep.
There's a real rope rein here that they're holding on to. And Dan, these are brought to us again by Kringle Express, which we know and love here at QVC as our only brand available here. You can only get these here. So they just are done beautifully. I love the idea of having something that nobody else has, and they can go outside so you can place them on your front doorstep. You can place them on the hearth inside of your home. I love them on a foyer table, or like you're showing them there, Dan, underneath of the tree. I think that's just so perfect. So many places to decorate with these.
Yeah, and I hate to say small because I'm only using the reference points of what we were doing with Kringle Express last year, where we had pieces that were 4 and 5 feet tall. These are still sizable pieces that will make an impact. And remember, when we were little, everything was bigger. So to my 2 granddaughters, these little elves are almost life size. And the fact
Oh,
that they
absolutely.
smile and they play, this is expressing the joy of what childhood is at Christmas time. Look at that
Oh,
face.
you're right, Dan. And the size on these, you mentioned that, they're about 27 inches long, they're about 8.5 inches deep, and they're almost 20 inches tall. They weigh just over 16 pounds, so they are really substantial. I mean, they're so well made too. These are pieces that you're going to have for years to come. I remember when my daughter was little, when we went to visit my brother at Christmas time,
Uh-huh.
and he had this snowman that was probably 36 inches tall. And we got a picture of her standing next to it. She was just a year old. And the expression on her face, the awe in her face was priceless. And it's something that I always remember, especially when I see these pieces, because they are just adorable. They have sweet, like you mentioned, sweet little expressions on their faces. Elves can sometimes be done a little bit scary,
A little
but Kringle
yes,
Express has just
yeah,
done an amazing job.
I agree. And I think all of us who grew up in households where you had one crazy person like me decorating, in my house, it was my dad. And
Aw.
I got to tell you, Rachel, it's interesting because my dad was a pretty stoic kind of guy. My dad was the type of guy who would come home from work, take off his tie, and put on a thinner tie. You know that guy? Okay, but at Christmas time, he became this kid, and he's the one that instilled in me an absolute love and passion for anything that lights up. If our cat at Christmas slept in the same spot for too long, it had lights on it. Okay, so
That's how I feel, Dan.
yeah, so these pieces are going to be the ones that your family remembers every year. And every big catalog company has tried to outdo themselves, and the prices have just they've been crazy. But that
Hmm.
sale price of $111.78 for a piece of this size, I think is extraordinarily reasonable because, well, I won't mention the name of the catalog, but last year at Christmas time, they had pieces in the catalog that were $700 and $800 for
That's
decorating, which
right.
I thought was nuts. So
Yeah.
here's the same joy scaled down, and these colors They go back to the colors that we did last year so that you actually can build a collection of these. Because maybe you got the snowman on the sled last year, and now you want to add the elves. They'll match. And that way you have
That's right.
more than just Christmas displays, you've got true decorating.
That's right. And I love how they're showing such great close-ups. I want to mention that each one of those faceted gemstones that you see
Yep.
has a light behind it. So during the day, you'll notice that they look like beautiful gemstones, but then at night with that timer feature, and it's just 2C batteries, you put it in the base, and then those gemstones light up. You can see that mine are on here in my home. And they just add that nice little subtlety. I love that it frames their faces. You can see the lights are across the top of their hat. Even the material that they use, this is all done in resin, but that allows them to make that cast that then you can mimic the real fabric. So you can see it has like a faux shearling around the hoods, around their little hats there. So just so well done all around.
Yeah. Rachel, again, thank you for all your help, all of your support. I think you and I have at least one more item to talk about, don't we?
No,
we're
this
done?
was it for us for today.
Was it something I said? No.
Never. You know I love you.
I will talk to you again very, very soon. Enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you. This item was really super popular at the beginning.